So it was on Mischief Night of this past year, 2014. So after, I don't know, 10 hours of class, I decided to get some pizza and get myself some food and, go back to my place. I mean, I didn't always wear my headphones at night or, in general when walking, but I did that day. And so I'm walking back and I'm going to, put the key into the lock, and I feel somebody hit me on the back of my head. And at first, because it was Mischief Night, I thought that maybe it was a prank, like a really cruel prank. But there was another one, and then I started to turn around, and then I got hit again. And by that time, I lost like my pizza, and everything was pretty much dropped. And it was a group of 5 to 6, teenagers. And I mean, that was about the time when I started, trying to verbalize, like, hey, what's going on? Like, what's wrong? Like, stop hitting me, whatever. And they wouldn't stop. They really didn't give any verbal cues as if, they were trying to rob me, or if they were just, trying to beat somebody up or whatever. But the punches kept flying.
Well, I came home late on a Thursday night. Well, not that late. It was like 11 or 11:30. And none of my other roommates were home. So I walked in the door and all the lights were out. And I heard footsteps, like slow creaking footsteps. And so I got a little freaked out and hid in my room for a while and texted my roommates to make sure none of them were home. They told me to get out of the house if I thought someone was in there and call the police.
I think it definitely did kind of change my perception of police because, like I said, when I was attacked and right after it happened, I was kind of hesitant to get the police involved, just because, I mean, my sentiment was, what are they going to do for me? I mean, they're not going to catch these guys, or these kids, But then going through the whole deal, they gave me, I mean, the one officer that went with me, that came to my house and then took me to the Temple Hospital, he gave me the name for Donna, my victim's advocate, and, they came and took the information, the video footage from my place, and they just seemed to be really astute and on top of it, and kind of, I just felt at the time that they wouldn't care, but then once I got involved with them and they helped me out, I mean, obviously they did care, and they kind of bolstered me and made me feel like I had, some proponents of people on my side.
I walked outside and didn't want to call the real police, so I called the Temple police because I thought that it was just going to be little people on bikes showing up. But no, the Temple police showed up, and they were like these big cops, and they were like, down business. So I unlocked the first door for them, and then showed them where my door was, and they took my keys, and they told me to walk back outside, and they pulled out their guns and their flashlights, and they were searching the house, and it was crazy. And so when I walked back outside, there were literally like 10 cop cars surrounding my apartment, cops everywhere. And then this other cop starts walking down the sidewalk with a dog that looks like it's supposed to eat someone, and it could barely be kept under control. And they didn't find anyone. It was just footsteps from upstairs that sounded really loud. I walked back in, and they took me around and made sure nothing was gone or looked weird. And they were really sweet about it, and they came really quickly.
I mean, crime's affected me in the sense that I'm more aware of my surroundings. I'm more focused on, myself, my position in whatever location I'm at. I mean, I'm not going to say that I see myself in a bird's eye view or a third person view, but I'm definitely less self-centered, and I think more openly, and I think more broadly to kind of watch everything that's going on around me.
We're the police department. We fight crime. What's the most effective way to fight crime? Is it by putting police officers on the street? Is it by investing in technology? Is it by investing in education? Is it by creating jobs in neighborhoods? If you're really committed to it and said, you know what, we're going to look at this from zero, you might come up with a vastly different system of policing than we have now. Maybe we would have a lot more technology and a lot fewer men and women on the force. Maybe we would have a lot more midnight basketball leagues and a lot more money fighting poverty than we would on chasing criminals. I'm not an expert on criminal science, but if you really sat down and said, all right, we're going to start from zero, I think you end up with some really different choices.